Hello everyone and welcome to Module 4 in Week 4. I'd like to take the opportunity as usual to go over some of the assignments, submissions, and classroom activities for you this week. All right, so entering Module 4. This week we're going to focus on the important concepts of communication, especially communication within group processes, critical thinking as it relates to the profession of nursing and also your clinical practice, as well as specifically the teaching and learning process to help you be more effective with your communication in client or patient teaching. As usual, you have your module overview followed by your objectives. But let's focus on the to-do list. You have 4 reading assignments this week, so please be sure to review those. They will help you, as usual, in moving forward with your learning in the course, as well as your discussion board assignment. You do have classroom activities, 3 web lessons that we would like for you to complete to help prepare you and educate you on the learning for this module, as well as help you in your future learning and assignments coming up in the semester. We would also like for you to review the Letter to the Editor project guidelines. Your letter to the editor will be due this Sunday at the end of the week. That is Part B of the Letter to the Editor and Annotated Bibliography. So you will start by reading your directions here under Part B. And then we're going to go for the grading rubric. You want to pay close attention to the grading criteria here listed for you. It will tell you how many points each one of these grading criteria are worth, and if you get points off in this section, you will understand that it is according to this grading rubric and or the sample format. After the letter to the editor guidelines, the sample format is listed here for you to give you an idea of how we would like for you to create your paper before submission. Let's take a look at that sample format. All right, so when you're writing a letter to the editor, you start out basically with your personal information up here, the date, and the editor's information. Some journals may have problems listing specific editor information, but 99% of the time, if you find the page that states editor information, author information, or the very main page of the journal website, it will give you detailed information about the editor, which is what you want to provide here. And this is just an example of what you will include in your letter to the editor. Most letters to the editor are about 1 page in length. If you're getting beyond 1 page, what happens is it becomes lengthy and they may not want to consider reading all of it or not consider publishing it. If you make it more than 1 page but the writing is strong, it's certainly still effective. I just want to encourage you to be sure to create your letter with succinct, clear, and brief descriptions. It's going to be incredibly important for you to communicate a personal attachment to why you are writing about this issue, why you chose this article, not going into specific detail on the name of the article, where the journal it came from. You can simply write the author and the year and go into detail in that way, but you really want to save your detail for your experience, your scientific or theoretical support, and use some evidence in the literature to help support what you are saying. All right, so next, in your classroom activities, we'd like for you to evaluate and review the Creative Professional Identity Project Guidelines. This is not due this week. In fact, it's not due for a couple more weeks. However, we like for you to start reviewing these guidelines in this rubric because there are some tools that you will have to familiarize yourself with. All right, so your creative professional identity project is really something that we would like for you to have fun with. The goal is to creatively express your self-reflected professional identity as an upcoming BSN prepared nurse. I see a lot of students miss points on this assignment because they simply state what it's like to be a registered nurse now. They don't look toward the future. They don't see and discuss what some of the roles will be as they are a BSN prepared nurse, and they don't correlate the differences between their nursing philosophy and nursing reflection as an RN or ASN only compared to that of a BSN or baccalaureate prepared nurse. So we want to hear and we want to know about you creatively and professionally, but don't forget to add in that piece of what you will be doing differently or how you plan to practice as a BSN prepared nurse compared to how you are practicing or how you are learning now. One of the biggest things that I want you to pay attention to in this rubric right now is this right here, number 3. You will be encouraged to use one of these following electronic media tools when you create this project. After you create it with this project, you will then be told to upload it to YouTube. So if you don't learn early how to use one of these power and media tools to create your project, you may find yourself having technology problems later on, which is something that can be very difficult when submitting assignments online. So please be sure to familiarize yourself with these media tools, find one that you like, and learn how to use it. That way you know very well how to work it when you go to implement and create your project. All right, next, we want you to, as I already stated in number 5, to look at these media tools, but next, we want you to go to find out how to create yourself a YouTube account, okay, and then learn how to upload videos in this YouTube account. These instructions are pretty clear. Some of you may already have a YouTube account. I didn't have a YouTube account before becoming an instructor, so but I will tell you that it's fairly simple to do if you follow these instructions on the Blackboard Learn site that we've attached for you. Okay? If you have any questions about this or problems with the media tools or problems with technology on Blackboard, please remember to contact TAC or TAC or the Office of E-Learning with help regarding technology. I can do my very best with helping you, but I'm not going to be your best resource for that because each of you have different programs, different web browsers, different types of computer that those internet and IT specialists will be able to help you with more in detail. All right, and then lastly in these classroom activities, we'd like for you to just kind of look back on your answers to previous reflection activities. None of these classroom activities will be submitted. Okay, these are just things we want you to do for your own learning, preparation, and organization for future assignments and your assignments that are due this week and and future weeks. Your submitted assignments for this week include just the discussion board, okay, so your discussion and reflection activity, week 4, and then your letter to the editor, part B of the assignment that we've just previously discussed earlier in this video. That will be due this Sunday by 11:30 p.m. and as usual you will submit it within the module where it says submit the letter to the editor, part B of your letter to the editor project here. There are also the rubric and the sample format here if you want to take one quick last look. Now, for your discussion board assignment this week, that's discussion reflection number 4, focusing on miscommunication. We would like for you to talk about a time when you were the problem or the source of a miscommunication. Every nurse has experienced something like this. I have probably experienced it more times than you, but it is important as an advanced practice or as a professional BSN prepared nurse that we are able to recognize times when we were the source of a miscommunication problem, because communication is essential in nursing, and our effective communication can mean the difference between a problem with a patient or safety with a patient. So we would like for you to discuss what happened in that time when you were the source of miscommunication, and then describe how you could have handled the situation differently to ensure that effective therapeutic communication. As usual, because you're reading on communication this week in your book, we would like for you to incorporate and integrate resources that we have listed here for you in these chapters and or here to cite or reference in your discussion. If you are still not including references or citations within your discussion, you will continue to lose points. Please be sure that you are supporting what you're saying in your discussion board with the references that we provide you, as this will give you maximum points. Also, please be sure, if it's possible, to refrain from answering your discussion board question in every week until you receive the grade for your previous week. All of your discussion board grades from previous weeks will be graded by Tuesday evening. We do our very best to get those grades to you before you submit the next week so that you have all of your feedback and you know what you will need to correct to get an optimal academic success grade. As usual, you'll put your primary post by Wednesday 11:30 and then your response post by Friday at 11:30. For your response post, you will be selecting 2 students to create a response and pose 2 questions to those students. One of the things that we have noticed students having struggles with is following all of the directions in the discussion board. So please follow all of the directions for your response post and all of the directions for your primary post in order to gain full optimal academic points. All right, I believe that is all I have for you this week. Should you have any questions, as usual, please feel free to ask via email or our course questions and answers. And I will see you all on discussion board next week.